Hello, thank you for coming on to this video. Wherever you're in the world, hope you're having a great day, great week, great month, great everything. My name is Paul Murphy, and the usual introduction to these, as I'm sure you've already seen. At the title bar, I'll give you a rough idea of what this is about. I'm doing some recitals of some of my unrecorded song lyrics and prose pieces that were recently found in a series of box files. We've done this one today, so I'm a little bit croaky here, and now we're into number 2 here, which is it's just been lost for 30 years. Let's talk about Tomorrow Exists as a separate video, thanks to the camera. I was recording that one on shutting down, so I've changed cameras here. Okay, and this one is called She Was Everything to Me. She was so fragile, like a porcelain angel. She was as innocent as childhood's dreams. She was as beautiful as a summer sunrise. She was everything to me. She was so gentle, like the wings of butterflies, as delicate as snowflakes in your hand. She could soothe you like slow-running rivers, and she was everything to me. And she was so vulnerable that you just wanted to protect her, and you found yourself hating anyone who could neglect her. And you waited to give her your soul and let her do with it as she would. And you wanted to love her more than anyone ever could. She was the meaning to each and every mystery, as refreshing as a fall of summer's rain. She was as lyrical as poetry in motion, and she was everything to me. She could warm you with her smile like a fire on a winter's night. Just looking in her diamond blue eyes could set your heart alight. She was the inspiration behind every love song written. She was as soft and smooth, and that's as far as I got with it all those decades ago. There was a original called Porcelain Angel, and I recorded that. Actually, that one is not so lost. Every now and again, I come across one in these files that is actually extant in my catalogue. And so there's obviously a point when I was writing them, and then I've come home, and or if I was at home, I've just gone over to the typewriter and thought, okay, I like that, typed it up, put the music to it, and that's gone into my live act, or just hawking it out around the recording studios to see if anyone wanted to take one on, which is what I used to do a lot back then. So that song actually exists and is complete, but I'm reading you the original handwritten lyrics. And I wrote that, just recalling the lovely lady that I wrote it for. So, pardon me for dwelling in very pleasant memories. Right, the next one doesn't have a title, so it needs a title. Okay, this is called I've Seen You in the Mirror. There's a fire burning on a distant hill, and I can see your face in the flames. I can hear you calling through the night so still, and I see a rich man dressed in chains. Well, do you know who he is, baby? Do you know what deeds he's done? Does he believe in anything at all, or is he a slave to someone? There's a wave crashing in on a distant shore, and I can see your face in the spray. I know you've been on a journey somewhere, but just where, was you won't say. Well, I hope that you kept yourself busy. You know that you're easily bored. I hope that you slept alone each night. You say yes, but I ain't so sure. Yes, I've seen you in the mirror, and I've seen you around town. You can act like you're confused, but you know what's going down. I can't pronounce your name, but I can write it pretty neat. Maybe I'll announce your game and shout it down the street. So don't lie to me about your age or the colour of your hair. Don't lie to me about anything, because all the time I was there. There's a bell tolling out in a distant town, and I can hear your voice in its chimes, saying everything's going to work out swell, that the weather's going to turn out fine. Well, just what makes you so certain? Going solo's not always the best way. I know what you're expecting from me, but maybe I'm not going to play. Yes, I've seen you in the mirror, and I've seen you around town. You can act like you're confused, but you know what's going down. I can't pronounce your name, but I can write it pretty neat. And maybe I'll announce your game and shout it down the street. So don't lie to me about your age or the colour of your hair. Don't lie to me about anything, because all the time I was there. I apologise for my off-kilter cadences there, but it's, as I've explained on some of the other videos, I've had this lifelong blessing, I guess, that can be annoying sometimes. If I look at any page of writing or any batch of writing, I automatically get music to it come in my head, and I mean just anything. I mean, so I've just looked at that and it's given me, so I've got the music to it that's come through. You know? I mean, it's just, you know, if I read a newspaper, I find myself, you know, going down through coming up with a tune and trying to find matching lines, you know, so Tottenham 5, Arsenal 3, all they lost is another pity, you know, kind of thing, you know. But I mean, it's just anything, you know. Prescription bottles, like I say, you know. Instructions on how to make your carburetor work or anything, you know, a receipt, you know. Anyway, okay, the next one is very short. Well, it might be finished, I don't know. How would I know? But it is still very short. I need it, because I'm reading these for the first time and they don't have titles on, I need the title so I can copyright it. So please forgive me while I try and work out the title. I'm going to call this She Set Me Free. And the only trouble with that is I now have a chorus that's writing itself in my head. She set me free of all my pain. She set me free so I could live again. Okay, so this is called She Set Me Free. She came to me when I was drowning in a sea of uncertainty. She could see I was in pain and she knew what was hurting me. She gave me her hand and then her heart and set me free. She was there when I was cold and had borrowed shoes on my feet. She knew that I was starving, so she took me home and made me eat. She took my broken pieces and she worked until I was complete. I'm baffled as I go through these books as to why I've left blank pages in them. So I can only assume that the reason I do it is because I've started writing, oh, that's going to be a long song, you know. And at some point again, and you can see how I've gone through at some point, and I've just stuck post-it notes on the titles on them, on the ones that looked complete. as I say, you're talking 30 plus years ago here now, 89, so 35 years almost. Once again, okay, so this is called Once You Were My Future. I've got a lovely rhythm to this going in my head. I do apologise. Clean intro, as we say in the recording industry. Once you were my future. Once you were here with me, baby. Now you are years away. And when I see you out now, baby, I don't know what to say. You gave me something I needed badly, and the feeling of it lingers. I held heaven in my hands, and I let it slip through my fingers. Time was you said you loved me, baby. Now that's gone for good. You busted out and got free, baby. I always knew you would. And you took with you a piece of me, and I'm never going to get it back. I'd never been in love before, and now I've lost the knack. I realize I hurt you, baby, and now you're hurting me. Once you were my future, baby, now I'm your history. Didn't know what to ask you, baby, didn't know what to take. Guess I pushed you too hard, baby, so hard what we had would break. Once again, the next one is just one verse. It might have been a poem, I'm sort of taking it as book, if you forgive the internal pun there, that these are all song lyrics, but it might just been, these smaller ones may have just always been intended just to be a poem that I jotted down that came to me. It still needs a title though. There's no obvious title here. Shall I copyright it as that? No obvious title. I'm going to copy it as No Strings. In case you're wondering, I've just looked over at one of my guitars and there's no E string on it, so this is called No Strings. No matter what way time travels on, you always look so young. You throw it all up in the air and then start it again from scratch. You never took the easy way there, and you never altered the facts. Yeah, that's certainly more of a prose work than a lyric, isn't it? I don't know where one would have gone with that. So like a bit piano song. Sorry, I need to focus here. I've been doing this for about 4 hours now, in between collapsing on the floor, and I need to focus a little bit. Once again, the next one has just got 4 lines. Okay, this is called Where Does Vanity End? Where does ornate become fake? Where does vanity end? How many deals have you got to make before you're left without a friend? Oh, and another short one coming up. I can see through the pages that some much longer ones coming up. But I just want to get all these down, so please excuse me, and this is why I'm doing these between recital talks and everything, but I always enjoy talking to my viewers in any case. But I just really am trying to get anthologize and record as much that I've created in my life down as possible before I run out of road, Okay, I need a title on the next one, so I'm just taking them page at a time, going on down through, and what will happen with these videos I don't know, but I do know that someone very kind is going to be keeping them aside for my wonderful children. Some of these may appear in anthologies at somewhere down the line. But anyway, so hi Dylan and Emily, this is Daddy on the 30th of April 2023. What's the world like whenever you're watching this? I know you grew up to be as wonderful as you are today as children. Okay, back to the job in hand. This is called I've Left It Behind. Oh, I'm flying so high, I'm feeling so good. It feels like the sun is starting to shine. Feels like I've left it behind in the woods. Don't know how long I can keep it all up. I never succeeded any time before. And again, that's all I've got there. But you can see where I'm going with this. I've got it down. I know the tune to it in my head, but if I recite it down with the cadence, if anyone wants to co-write this song with me, down the line, I've given them a rough indication of where I was looking to go with that one. Okay, I don't know whether this has anything to do with Elvis Costello. This is a very strange structure here. But anyway, so it means nothing to you. I keep saying that just because I'm just reading these for the first time in 35 years, you know. So I'm looking at these as an outside observer, and it's like Howard Carter's tune, really. Anyway, this one is called My Baby's Always Wearing Her Red Shoes. I can see that I wrote this, you know, kind of with live performance in mind, I think. But I'm going to read it slower. Living life. Oh, let's have a clean intro. My baby's always wearing her red shoes. Living life in your mind, walking on and incline, saying, yeah, I feel fine, leaving wife and kids behind. How are you gonna save time, committing every kind of crime? Justice is not so blind, and guilt ain't pure or sublime. You don't know what this is, got more hits than misses. Wanna know what's bliss? Angels blowing kisses, swapping your heart out for his. And it's your choice, you got nothing to lose. And my baby's always wearing her red shoes. You say it's a tragedy, don't give that stuff to me. It's what you want it all to be, busting out and getting free. It's old and cold and history, talking about the remedy. It don't mean much artistically. And pick a path, you got many to choose, and my baby's always wearing her red shoes. But I can see how that would have gone live, you know, as a dum bum 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 bum. Living life in your mind, walking on an incline, saying, yeah, I feel fine, leaving wife and kids behind. How you gonna save time, committing every kind of crime? Justice ain't so blind, guilt ain't pure or sublime. You're looking at A, E, A, B, A. Sorry. Again, this is just actually written like a poem, but it doesn't have a title. This is called What Lay Within. You were my sanctuary, spherical. You were an ideal to me. You were politics and poetry, and pleasure and pain. You stripped away the years from me and peeled away my layers, exposed what lay within, led me across time's stairs. And again, I'd optimistically left the whole page out. Oh, and again, here's one that made it into my live act. Well, this is very strange. I was only recalling, well, it means nothing to you, but I was, this is pure coincidence, but I was reading one from the other file today, and it was unfinished, and I'd made a note saying, you know, to the camera saying, I don't know why I never finished that, but it's structurally, thematically similar to another song I'd written called Only a Woman, which was in my live act, and people who didn't listen to the song or didn't read the words would say to me, well, that's a very demeaning title. I'm wrapping it all up, you know, I'm putting all these conversations into one here, filtering it down, you know, to what's coming out. Only a woman. They didn't take it that it's the lady herself that is reciting this tale and turning it around onto the people who treat her as only a woman. So I'm getting that out there at the front, just in case you think, if you've got only a woman, I'm not listening to that. So, only a woman. Go ahead and mistreat me. Go ahead and misuse me. You can call me anything you like. Just feel free to abuse me. You can hit me if you want. Vent your frustrations on me. You can laugh at my tears of pain, and I won't expect sympathy. You can tell me I'm worthless, can give me all of your spite. I'll take all of it in stoic silence. Perhaps I'm in awe of your might. And after all, I'm only a woman. How dare I think that I'm anything to you? After all, I'm only a woman, less than nothing to you. Go on, call me all of those names. You've called me all of them before. I guess that it makes you feel better. Who cares? Who's keeping a score? Go ahead and impress me. Show me just how strong you are. After all, it's just blood and bruises. Don't think that you've gone too far. Because after all, I'm only a woman. So I must be second best compared to you. After all, I'm only a woman. Aren't you glad you're not one too? So, now you've heard it, I hope you can see where I was going with it. So I took time. The narrator is, it's a very hard-hitting song, if you'll forgive that choice of words. You can see why I've used it though. It's the lady who's reciting it, you know, and one of those bad relationships that are so prevalent, so just the veneer of respectability. I'm reciting this to you now on the 30th of April 2023, just days after there's a report on the BBC website that thousands of UK police officers are being investigated for assault, misogyny and racism as well. But some of these WhatsApp messages have come to light of officers boasting about beating their wives up, and she became so compliant, obedient afterwards, and after I slapped her around a bit, and getting all these laughing emojis back from their fellow police officer. Who watches the Watchmen, huh? And it's very much like a song that I was doing yesterday. Well, no, unless you get the hardback edition of Bitter Realities, which was called Your Contempt Does Not Impress Me. And it's a song about a certain cachet of people to whom other strata of society, of humanity, are dehumanized and therefore rife for bullying, beating, robbing, insulting, hurting. That's a subject this is a subject I've come back to many times in my work. She's Cried a Million Tears is by far and away the best one. And because I never think that I wrote that song, it's the one I always quote when people say to me, do you have a song that's, your favourite? And I always say, well, no, but this is it near the top. I won't name one. And no one's got a song. No one but me has got a song like She's Cried a Million Tears, and same subject matter as this. And I don't think too many people out there have got a song like that either. I'm proud to write something like that, and I just hope that again, the message comes through from it. This is a lady, who realised she's been dehumanised, and she's thinking to herself, and so she's taking it back onto her attacker this way, It's almost like saying, you poor pathetic little creature, yeah, I'm only a woman to you, and that line at the end, yeah, I'm only a woman. Aren't you glad you're not one too? Because then you would be getting treated like this. And I'm getting a bit het up just thinking about it, because it still happens today. I mean, I wrote that song 35 years ago. And the boys in black and blue, so I'm afraid of the police, and when you see these cases not being investigated fully for decades, and then you see that now, only now, because in the past they had to say it to each other, and they had to talk on a telephone, and now of course, how clever our police force, I'll admit to beating my wife up on a text message, You're investigating crimes, you're not even smart enough to realise that you're not even, hanging your career up on free row. Okay, shall we press on after that? The next one, again, whether it's the start of a song, whether it was a piece of another one that came to me. So much is lost in the mist of time here, but some pieces, as per the previous one, I have perfect clarity and recall on. I just didn't know where it was to for 35 years. Okay. Okay, I'll just call this one. This is called My Mind Went Back to Before. I'd really like to, I'd really like to still be alive in a week's time. But these unfinished ones, I guess I could just finish this off now, but I've got to get these recorded. So, My Mind Went Back to Before, this is called. I've just driven past your door, and I saw that your light was on. My mind went back to before, when you and I were still one. I didn't see another car. I wondered if you were alone. Oh, it hurts to know where you are. Oh, the chances that I have thrown. What does that say? Regret. I've obviously done all these post-it note titles all in one big batch, because as you can see here, so there's the handwriting of the song there, which isn't too unneat, shall we say, and then there's these scribbled post-it notes. I've just gone, come up with title. Making something from regret. I can feel you burn inside of me. You're still a part of what I used to be. I miss you more than you could understand. How did this all get so far out of hand? No, I'm not one in need of sympathy, but I feel like my heart's been pulled out of me. It was bad enough when you said we were through, but now I find you found somebody new. You're happy now, and that's how it should be, and I always was far too blind to see. I built my own crown so I know that it fits. The pain in my soul, it never quits. I just added that last line on there because I want some closure on this song. You could take that one way. Making something from regret. How can we turn this around? How can I walk away from here? Making something good from the regret, but wishing you were near. Yeah. The pain is a souvenir. Will I ever pull clear? Sorry. Oh, goodness me. Why doesn't this happen? This is obviously Okay, well, I guess this is called, well, it is now in any case, how am I doing for time? I'm not going to get this one down because the file changes over every 34 minutes. If you're watching this, well, you must be watching it because unless you just imagine that you're watching this. So thank you for watching this, wherever you've watched it to. I don't know what's going to end up with these videos. I'm just trying to get as many of my works down on tape, my songs down. Tape is not tape anymore, is it? It's pixels these days. And other people would take these works on. So if you're watching on YouTube, wherever you're watching, YouTube, Patreon, I know, Times Square, Ball, if you've come across a brass rubbing of it, I'm really grateful to you for your time. Whenever you watch this, it's 2023 at the moment. I would just say that if this goes extant in the near future, I think I've got 40 books on Amazon at the moment, and there's about 25 song, lyric, prose, poetry anthologies there. Well, here's one here. This just has you. So this is the Bitter Reality songbook. This is one of the smaller ones. I don't know if there's any on the windowsill behind me, yeah, if you like my work and you'd like to read it to yourself without my interjections and soft shoe shuffles of conversation off to the side, I get nothing at all from my books. Other royalties come to me. They're held in an escrow account now, and then when I'm no longer around, the royalties go into a trust fund for my truly beautiful, wonderful, amazing children who are in photographs behind me, I'm quite sure. And I will thank you on their behalf if you choose to. But if you've watched this, I hope something in here has touched you, even if it was just only a woman, just, you know, from whichever side of the coin makes you stop and think. And if you see someone with an unexplained bruise, you know, silence is the devil's best friend, okay? Helping hand, word in the ear, anything, you know. I've been Paul Murphy, you've been fantastic. Bless you.